Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Well, today's video is our final thoughts review on the Litehawk HighRoller quadcopter. Now, this one I picked up from the source. I've already done a little bit of videoing on this for first impression and a little bit of indoor flight. It's not a bad little rig. It does actually perform as advertised by being able to crawl up walls, drive on the ceiling, drive on the floor. Does okay on asphalt, not so good in gravel. It's going to get caught up a lot. So smooth surfaces, it's fine on. Now, if you check out our flight video for outdoor that we did yesterday, we have Litehawk HighRoller outdoor flight. You'll see how this thing actually works in an outdoor environment. Now, the amount of wind that we had was extremely little. It was barely anything. Even coaxial helicopters would fly good out in it. This thing actually didn't do too bad, but it had to be left on the sport mode. There is not enough cyclics or power for this thing in the standard mode, but in the sport mode it did do much better, so I did have to leave it in that mode, which was fine. Now every time you turn this thing on, you're automatically in ground mode for driving, so don't expect to be able to just go and take flight. You've got to press that button first and you're going to be in the air mode, so then you can just fly if that's what you want to do at the time. Now, as far as the whole durability thing goes, I had a couple little mild wipeouts, but I mean, it wasn't hot outside yesterday, but it wasn't exactly warm. But I mean, the cage does take quite a bit of impact to it, so it does have some, it is a resilient little machine, and all that vibration that happens and goes on is actually kept away from the quad itself, so you're not vibrating the machine itself, really. So it's a pretty good durable little cage that way. The cage, though, is not going to be very durable in cold weather, so anything below 7 degrees, I probably wouldn't be flying it outdoors, because the plastic is going to get pretty brittle in cooler temperatures. So you got to kind of pick your battles when it comes to flying this particular type of a quad. Now, this thing, and I've said it before, is not made for doing stunts. So it's not one of those quads where it can flip and roll. It just doesn't have the ability or capability to it. The little lights up front are kind of cool. Gives you an idea of, perspective of your front end. Of course, your white blades also indicate going forward, because it does have this, what do you call it, stop sign shape or hex shaped canopy on, so it's kind of deceiving that way. So the headlights do kind of help with, hey, this is the front, this is the back, right? It did get up there pretty good in height, but it did stutter a few times on me at distances. We were in one of the college parking lots, and I mean, it is a few hundred feet wide, but I mean, I probably wasn't more than halfway across the parking lot, and it did stutter a few times on the radio. So when it comes to range-wise, it's not as good a range as quads the same size or smaller in a 2.4 gigahertz range. So that's something to keep in mind. You're going to have some range issues on the long haul. So if you want to go for long range flying, you can still see this thing. It actually keeps some good size because of the cage helps with that. But you will get some stuttering going on, so just be aware of that. As far as maintenance and all that goes, I haven't had to do anything to this thing at all. I've had no damage to my blades because the cage keeps everything very well protected, which is nice. And of course, as always, if you know you're going to crash, kill the throttle. So what's my overall opinion? Okay, well, on a star rating system, I'm going to give this thing 3 3/4 out of 5, just because of the range hiccups is a big thing that's losing points on it. As far as ability to fly out in the wind, a very light wind, it is a bit challenging, so it's going to lose some marks there too. I'm not even going to pick on the fact that it can't do stunts because it was never designed for it anyway, so you can't pick on what it's not designed to do. But otherwise, it is a reasonably decent machine. Now, as far as retail price, I'd never pay it. It generally goes on sale for about $70. I think that that's still a little bit high for what it is and what it can do. I would say it would be more of a fair price range around 60 would be actually a good price range for it. Unfortunately, you won't see that kind of a price happen on this thing. Cost of replacement parts is actually not too shabby. So it is decent that way as far as upkeep goes, and you're not going to be buying a lot of replacement parts for this. Like I said, I haven't even dug into my replacement blades that came with it, so I mean it is a fairly durable machine, fairly low maintenance machine, which is good. Now as far as age group category, I mean I would probably say ages 10 and up wouldn't have too much difficulty, and it'd be more fun for kids, I think, between the ages of 10 to maybe 13, possibly 14 tops. Not really an adult-oriented toy. I mean, I bought it because I thought, hey, this is cool, and it wasn't even out on their website, and I thought, hey, there's something different for me to try out too, and see, you know, at the time when I bought it. And it's not that I'm really disappointed with it. It's just not the kind of machine in the end that I thought it would be able to be, even for what it was designed for. Because of the outdoor flying with it, it's really not the greatest. You know, even in the low winds, it is hard to fight the wind with it. But when you get the wind to your back, hey, it's great. If you're indoors with it in a gymnasium, it's going to perform really well. So you have to really think about the environments, and you know, you're putting out this money. I mean, there's quads, like I said, for the same money and less, that are far superior in the air, even in much higher winds, more stable, etc. I found with this one a lot of self-correcting that it couldn't do on its own, so I had to do the correcting for it, you know, to rebring it around. So that was kind of a bit of an annoyance there. When you do bump and hit the ground, sometimes you kind of just lose it completely, so you got to kind of stop and then take off again. You know, it's just, you know, flight time actually is within spec for what they say. You know, so it's pretty close. But would I actually recommend this as a purchasable item? Well, sure, for that age category group. Also, the fact that you can get all the replacement parts is a big bonus. Litehawk does that with all of their machines. You can get replacement parts, and for even a long time after they stop selling those machines, you'll still be able to get parts. So that's at least something where they're not going to leave you stranded, and that's a good thing. You know, they won't leave you stranded. And like I said, the parts cost price isn't too bad, so you know, it's reasonable that way. So anyways, there you've got it. That's pretty much all I can tell you. And like I said, if you do get one of these things, keep your box portion, this section, because it does make a really good stand. You know, put it on the shelf, and you know, it's not going to roll off or anything. So, and you can actually use it as a launch pad, which I showed being able to do in a video. But otherwise, that's it, guys. So let me know what you guys think. Check out that outdoor footage. You can check through my channel if you haven't seen any of the indoor flying yet. But yesterday's video has the outdoor flying with this thing. And like I said, extremely light winds. And you know, it didn't do too bad, but it could have been a lot better for sure, you know. Or maybe I'm just expecting too much, but I really don't think so, you know. Anyways, thanks, and catch you on the next video.